Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to BioShock Remastered. Let's continue. So we need to get in this office, but first things first, I want to come over here. Probably shouldn't just have my camera on. See, this is... I think there's a Houdini splicer around here. Maybe I should start, like, researching anytime I get items that can build things, but honestly, when I build things, it's... I don't know. I'm conflicted as to... I kind of need bullets more than I need anything else. So we're coming over here to find a secret invention that somebody's been making. There's that place that just emptied out damage research. Get more bang from your research buck with damage research. Carry your analysis further as you thought even possible. Well, I'll take that, I guess. Let's see what this has to say.
Basic casing is ready. I've got one charge of nitroglycerin in my office.
He's making an EMP bomb.
Now I need 4R34 lead shield wire stubs to pass the circuit. Then a half can of ionic gel, that's the pretty Betty of the mix. Should send the core into compensation mode, push power down the line and trigger the circuit breaker on Ryan's gate. Well, that's the theory. It'll either work like a charm, or blow up half of Rapture. Nothing ventured.
Oh, this is gonna be weird, going in the director's commentary right here, but whatever. Let's play it.
From the moment you boot up BioShock, you can feel the story grab hold of you. A plane crashes at sea, a mysterious lighthouse, a sprawling city beneath the ocean. Hooking the player from the first touch without overwhelming him with convoluted RPG mechanics was key to the success of the game and the skillful ramping up of BioShock's legendary gameplay.
I still think it's kind of convoluted, and the lighthouse actually has very little to do with this game. They simply needed a way to get to the bottom of the ocean, and they decided it was unbelievable to crash an airplane into the bottom of the ocean.
BioShock has an amazing
and then end up in
sequence
Rapture at the bottom of the sea.
I can't imagine the game without it, with the plane and sort of the crash. But I understand that didn't come online until like the very end of development. Shawn, is that true?
We had a couple of really depressing playtests. We had built all these systems. We thought we were doing a good job of like giving basically people a playground to play with and things to do. And when we had a playtest, we didn't realize how bad of a job we were doing in exposing those systems to the player, because we were so in these systems and in our own heads, we had no idea that we just weren't facing them towards the player at all.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
After that,
it took forever for them to expose all the abilities.
Cold look at what we were doing and realize that
we were getting new weapons.
We were confident enough in the systems that they were going to be fun and meaningful to the player, but we really had to think about how we were going to introduce these systems to the player, and in such a way that they understand why the systems were there. Like, you can't ship a README file with the game and expect people to read it. Like, it has to be part of the experience. So the challenge is, how do you introduce people to these systems, but do it in such a way that it fits within the narrative? So we had to integrate all of these things into the story cleanly so that the player felt like it was one smooth experience. And I think the zap 'em and whack 'em thing was one of those.
And the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch that came out of that.
The plane sequence at the beginning, I heard a story that like a programmer put that together in like a day or two, and it was a very last minute thing, right?
It was. So we had done a focus test, and we had. It was one of the most depressing experiences of my life, because we were very close to being finished, and it was basically giving people what essentially became the demo, and people played it, and it was in Boston, and we were sort of behind these glass windows. All these sort of Boston guys are like, this is a wicked piece of shit. They hated it, and they were making fun of it, and they were saying, it's like watching some guys and dolls getting, beating each other up, and it's the stupidest thing they've ever seen. And we thought we were in pretty good shape at that point. And I remember the focus test guy was like sort of like a doctor giving me the bad news. You know, sorry, Ken, you better get your affairs in order. Right. And we all came into work the next day, and we were like, what are we going to do? And we were all pretty depressed. But I think we started talking. And as we talked, we started thinking about, what are they saying to us? What are these people saying to us? We think there's something there. How are they missing it? And we decided that maybe they didn't understand who they were and who their role as a character, who their role in the world was, because the game at that point started with you in the ocean, floating in the ocean after the plane crash. And
the crash still was in the fiction, it just wouldn't show.
You just didn't see it, so you didn't have the voiceover saying, my parents always said I was going to do great things or whatever that. They didn't show the plane crash. We didn't establish a time period. Yeah. Because the plane is critical to establishing. You're smoking a cigarette. It's very 1960s looking. All that stuff was established. It wasn't established. So we decided we had no time and no money and so we sort of came up with a script. I wrote some line, I think. Nate, one of our artists, recorded the line. Steven and Shawn and those guys got to work on building this very simple sequence, which was relatively simple sequence. And then the plane crash actually happens over the BioShock logo we already had, but we wrote a radio play behind that with altitude of the crash, and that I think set the emotional, and the people screaming in terror on the plane crash, that set the emotional tenor much better and explained who the player was. And all of a sudden we released, then I think the next real encounter we had was people playing the demo, public encounter, and all of a sudden it was a very different experience.
No, I remember even back in the day, I think we did a thing on TV where we kind of talked about it. It was like that night, and I remember that night, like people on the forums were just like going nuts. And even though the game had a lot of press attention, when people finally got to play it and go through that sequence, I just remember there was this mass sort of excitement around it. And then the game shipped only a few weeks after that, right, or a month after that?
A week later, or a few days later.
It's amazing, like now to hear that, like literally like a month before the game came out, like the playing sequence came online or something. I mean, it was that late. Right?
Well, we still had to go through certification and all that.
So it's like within.
It wasn't far. It wasn't far. It was really last minute, and it was one of those things where like you really shouldn't be putting in content that late. But we felt it. We were so close to having something good that we just rolled the dice on it, and we worked really hard on it. Like we worked really hard. I remember how much time I spent on just that recorded of altitude. I could still hear the different version of that in my head. There's been so much time on that stuff, and these guys were working on getting the animations right and the
scene was shot in engine, but we decided to pre-render it so that we had to do less QA on it.
Right.
It wasn't going to be some like weird streaming error or crash error. Wow. It was just like, we're just going to show the video,
And it's interesting because once you start in the ocean, we had this experience with testing a lot with the water effects and how beautiful Steven's water effects were. People didn't realize they were out of a cutscene at that point. And so they would just sit there and stare. And then they pick up the controller. And they pick up the controller, and all of a sudden they realize they were controlling things. But that, as Shawn said, that part of the plane is not actually interactive. It was done in the engine, but we just filmed it.
Now, as people were playing through the game and you were testing it, I'm sure there was debate about, when would you introduce this plasmid, sort of what would the ramp be? Did that change at all, sort of as you got towards the end of development, about like, we're going to give people the gun at this point, or it's like we're going to trigger these plasmids at this point? Like, how did that work?
So, like, we moved guns around. Like, for instance, there was a big debate about, originally you found a gun in the lighthouse, a pistol in the lighthouse.
Oh,
at the very
right
beginning.
there,
And because it's a shooter, right? Like, what the hell? And we had a lot of debates about it, and I feel that it was important that we didn't do that, because the fact that you sort of go through a lot of the experience without having the distraction of a gun is important to getting you immersed in the world. Because when you have all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? But you don't have the hammer, so you just sort of had to take in the world and have that feeling of fear. And like, I know when you saw that splicer bounding around on the ceiling, that you couldn't do anything about it. And
Definitely good idea. Nobody would have used any of the plasmids if they were given a gun before plasmids.
And there's a monster and you can't do it, and the lights go out. It's like that's the moment with the splicer where you're like, I want to do something, but I can't, and that evokes an emotion.
I remember we kept moving where the machine gun appeared around and where various plasmids appeared around. It was a real, it's it's a real fine-tuning process.
Yeah, and it gave us an opportunity, like especially with the shotgun, to really present the weapons, like put some space between them.
It's a moment when you finally.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we get the shotgun Paul sequence.
Paul Hellquist was he put the sequence together for the when you see the shotgun laying in the pool of light. Like every game developer knows what that means. You know the minute you pick that thing up, something's going to happen. But it was still a very effective way, as I'm remembering it, to look, I've been waiting for this thing, I'm going to pick it up, and now you have an immediate opportunity to use it. But at the same time, we're trying to ramp up the tension level by having the splicers kind of on the outside of the light, so you can't really see them, and then coming in one at a time and attacking you.
And we had very few tools to really control how those splicers acted. So how they were set up and how the environment was lit was really important.
There's even other things like when you get the TK plasmid, I don't think we had a lot of physical space and opportunity and time to really present that. So we came up with the narrative that, it was the doctor's office and he used TK to practice tennis. And we had the turret in there that threw tennis balls at you. So if you wanted to, you could catch the tennis balls and throw them, and you could knock things down. I think it revealed pickups that you could then, pull to yourself with TK. But we're always trying to think of like little backstories that we could do. It doesn't have to be as involved as the shotgun ambush. Sometimes it's just, let's take a grenade turret and turn it into a tennis ball turret.
Because we want to, because I remember like the impulse was, I've been to dentist office, and there's always some like weird aspect of the dentist personality they always want to get through their office. They just have to have their hobby featured in some way, and so we saw an opportunity there to both feature this, he's a tennis nut, and teach TK at the same time.
And the
Alright, so that wasn't too bad, but definitely weird. Don't have the necessary components. Alright, so I need to run around and go find the components before I can make this EMP bomb. That's good.
Come on, then! Fight me, more of you!
I'm running out of bullets. Is this gonna explode? Just hear that diary?
What a balmy dream. Some kind of fruit tree spinning like a top. And it was pouring juice down Ryan's throat, choking the bastard. But it wasn't a tree, really. When I looked closer, it was the core control. The gizmo that feeds the mag locks on Ryan's gate. You can't cut off the power. It comes right from the volcanic vents. Ryan always gets his juice. But I suppose you could drown the son of a bitch in it.
So let's go ahead and enter the code here. It's 0126, which apparently is Australia Day. We could, I suppose, hack for maybe some extra Eve or something. Let's see, this place is a mess. It's really electrocuting me quite a lot. This is just like a puzzle. Oh, really? That was ridiculous. Now I suppose I need 2 of those. I suppose it is better to die if you don't care about the not dying achievement, which may not even be in this remastered version. So save your.
Come back! Come back! Come
See, why is that? Like, why is that thing being electrocuted? Research is finally complete with the bouncers. That is nice. Here's a R2-232. Ooh. So of the skeletons of those characters, I might actually need to find some more or fight some more of the bouncers just to get their circuitry.
Welcome to the circus of...
I still don't think I have a hack tool.
Daddy, is that you?
Yep. If I could just find one correct piece. I need one more piece, and I've got it.
Mama's here. How about you?
I got another hack. Good.
Gone now. You can come out.
I guess I didn't defeat a bouncer in this area. If I took out 3... What? Let's see. Can I make an automatic hack tool? Yes, I can make 2. Let's see. Bloodlust. Small amounts of health when you wrench things. Let's see. We need one of these, one of these, and that we would go with that. Let's see, one more of these, one of these, and one of these. And I think that's as much as I can do. Frag grenades. I'm leaving so much equipment sitting around. Well, this guy's half dead already. Now, notice he is knocking me really far into, like, really far into the corners. That is not what I intended to do. And I don't even know what I was intending to do really there, because the research had been complete from that. There we go. Now that was a long journey just to get back to this point. Let's see. Could I perhaps shoot and get rid of these things? No, I don't think so. How about this then? We'll just use the corpse as a grounding agent, and all will work fine. And nitroglycerin. Proximity mine not needed.
Is there blood in the streets? Of course. Have some chosen to destroy themselves with careless splicing? Undeniable. But I will make no proclamations. I will dictate no laws. The great chain moves slowly, but with wisdom. It is our impatience that invites in the parasite of big government. And once you've invited it in, it will never stop feeding on the body of the city.
Why did that thing decide to... Let's see. I'll take some immunity. Like, why did the turret decide to shoot at? Got the nitroglycerin. Oh, this is a great opportunity to take some pictures. Now I just want to keep an eye on my health as I'm taking pictures. Why I could hack that automatically, I don't know. But, okay. Let's see. I still think I need the 232 wire. So I think going this way actually is a waste.
Father!
Let's run back up here and find a...
We could hide from the light down here.
Find another...
Gus!
Another bouncer.
I'll kill your back!
Sweetheart, where are you?
And see, I think I may have just triggered another round of bad guys attacking here. Oh, these bullets are not strong enough. Where are you? Let's see. Come on, Big Daddy, where are you? Here's one. Fire and fire. He's knocking me upstairs. You're never really going to get to the point where that you're like you're just not going to ever be able to kill him without taking any damage. Even on easy, I don't feel like that's a reasonable goal for most players. Sure, there are the expert shooter players out there, but for most people, you're going to use 4, 5, 6 different health packs.
Welcome to the circus of value.
And now money has become no issue, so even hacking those machines has stopped being useful. Let's get this EMP device put together. I believe I have everything now. And I really don't know why these splicers all of a sudden have these electrical abilities on them. Is that just because difficulty has been bumped up? Let's look at some options. This game has the decision at times to change its options. Like dialogue subtitles. I don't recall seeing dialogue subtitles, but I may just be ignoring them. So let's see. Here we go. We got it?
Does it look like it's a real bomb? It better. You got to put it on the core past geothermal control. And we'll see if these needle noses knew what the hell they were talking about.
I send you
They kind of do these weird ragdoll. How did these guys get past my turrets? So do I want to use these 12 anti-personnel bullets or continue to use machine gun shots that don't really work? Like, you would think these two turrets would have helped in some fashion, and they don't. It seems ridiculous. I could see if they were going to try and improve upon this game, they would have the areas a lot more widely open. They would let you plan out actual booby traps that actually help. I think in BioShock 2 you get more of that, but by the BioShock Infinite, I'm not sure it has any of that, really. Yeah, I don't think there really are any turrets to speak of or anything. A new guy? Nope. I don't need research him.
heard that. Hold it!
So here we go down. Come on, pick up that napalm. And I guess I go in here. I guess I haven't been in this section yet.
Looks like the ocean's got an itch to retake this corner of Rapture. This happened right after the start of the war. Read about it in the papers. Head on in. I'll see what I can dig up to help.
So Hephaestus Core is our next location. Let's see. Can I make an automatic hack to it? No, I don't think so. This is going to be silly. Again, trying to get more research out of this thing. And see, that was at the cost of one thing. Oh, and I'm not even having to play the game anymore.
I'm no engineer, but if I read these plans right, you can channel that magma flow using the redirect valve. It'll boil off that water right quick, and you'll be able to reach the core. Orion's sure to take notice. Might want to set up a perimeter just to be certain.
So the game has kind of changed. Because now you don't have to hack anything. Why is that guy over there running to attack something else? Well, I'll leave them be and let them do whatever they want to do. It's like, I guess I did enough research, so it stopped being an issue. Some liquid nitrogen, machine gun rounds, proximity mines, all of this. Call elevator. Splicer. Can't go in here. Alright, so proximity mines. Here. Like he's specifically telling me to set this up, and I bet I don't really need this. But whatever. Like I still have 2 more proximity mines. Let's go ahead and see if we can shoot one that way. And shoot one that way. Let's see what that even is. There you go. So 12 anti-personal, 24 electric buck, 21 regular buckshot. Calling the elevator does nothing. Interesting. Alright, let's do this.
Will these creatures kill you? Even I don't know. As you drag me closer to the abyss, you pull yourself right along with me. I offer you, with death steps, a preference to touch me.
So I'm just sitting here hitting A. There's a bunch of Houdini splicers coming around here, trying to beat me. There we go.
Are they all dead? Hope so. Best be heading on to the core.
So, how many of them were there? There's like nothing. It was ridiculously easy. Seriously, there was like 2 or 3 splicers. Slicers, yeah, that's a different name to call them. I was expecting big daddies. I was expecting all kinds of things. See that whole top area, it doesn't even seem like you can do anything there. Oh, a hack tool, I'll take that. Of course, if I go that way, I would blow myself up, and that would be silly. So, I guess just moving on. Down to the core we go. Nothing is going to try and stop me. Couldn't search that corpse. That seems a little strange. Remember, we're just trying to get to Andrew Ryan.
So far away from your family, from your friends, from everything you ever loved. But for some reason, you like it here. You feel something. Can't quite put your finger on. Think about it for a second. And maybe the word will come to you. Nostalgia.
So, we watched the developer's commentary, and one of the things I would agree with is the concept that the plane crash does bring you from the real world's mentality into this crazy world. It makes it a journey you can actually follow. If the main character was just a splicer running around fighting all the other splicers, and it was assumed you understood what was going on incomplete and you were totally with it, then that would be very confusing to the player.
A piece of my plundered city? Mark my words, your only reward will be a knife in the back.
I don't think Atlas has offered us anything. It's kind of weird, actually. We have gone quite a far distance to avenge Atlas's family. So, I'm kind of running now because security is mad at me. Now's a good time to leave.
All my physical defenses fall will not defeat me. My strength is not in steel and fire, but in my intellect and will. You hear me, Atlas? Admiral Ryan offers you nothing but ashes!
So we got 16 more seconds of this going on. You didn't die? enough pictures of these? Oops.
This is the way to...
I got this R234. No, I want to call it RS232, but it's actually R34. Splicers are trying everything to stop me. Did we get everybody? Everybody taken care of? We got alarms going off like crazy. So, what gun? Electric buck, I guess? Or explosive buck? See, that short circuits the door.
In the end, all that matters to me is peace.
Notice there's a piece broken in the air. And I guess it's a good thing that this is saving right here. Oh, no, it's not. No, it is not, because it just crashed. Let's load the game back up and see when did we last save. It could have been 40 minutes ago. It literally could have been 40 minutes ago. Let's see. Is it gonna launch again? Let's see. Launch. What's it doing? Oh no, oh no. It doesn't want to launch now because of what reason? Because it wants to sync the save file up to Steam. And let's see. Let's just open the task manager. And you're watching nothing, and I'm sure this is really interesting to watch when nothing's going on. Come on, launch BioShock Remastered. Preparing to launch BioShock Remastered. Oh, this is awful. This is so bad. Well, I'm not going to make you sit here, so we'll do an edit and combine it with the next video. And we're back. Let's see how far backwards we are now. It could be right at we lost 40 minutes of gameplay, really. And it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to even run through the game and have that much. Yeah. That is 40 minutes of gameplay lost. Potentially, haven't researched every one of the things. Like turrets, I know we were still working on that research path anyway. But there's still a lot of stuff here. I just want to kind of get everything, and let's see, maybe machine gun coil reduction this time. Alright, watch. So now that I've researched this, there we go. There's, let's see. Let's see, I don't even think I've activated this.
The basic casing is ready. I've got one charge of nitroglycerin in my office. That will serve as the catalyst. Now I need a 4R34 lead shield wire stump to pass the circuit. Then a half can of ionic gel, that's the pretty Betty of the mix. Should send the core into compensation mode, push power down the line and trigger the circuit breaker on Ryan's gate. Well, that's the theory. It'll either work like a charm, or blow up half of Rapture. Nothing ventured.
Oh, I'm tired of fighting with these guys like this. Let's try this. See, I don't see how a steel tip bolt is also going to come into play and be helpful.
I said.
One of those. And see, now we're just mad dashing. I know that there was a crossbow over here. And see, I'm gonna find the Big Daddy this way. That's 3 or 4. Let's find this Big Daddy. Take him out.
I my vengeance upon you!
I could not switch weapons there. Die already, come on. Alright.
I send you plague!
And we've got that done, so now we've got everything done. Now we can just run back in here. Do we have all the... oh no. That was not my intention. Let's look at the options. Did the audio options or the gameplay options change? Yes, subtitles went off again. Every time it crashes, at the very least. If that is the case. We're done with that. Good. I probably am missing people's diaries. Though, particularly if they're inside people that I'm just not running around here to search them. Put all this together.
I'll do what you say. Does it look like it's a real bomb? It better. You got to put it on the core, past geothermal control. And we'll see if these needle noses knew what the hell they were talking about.
I send you!
Moving forward here, let's see. So why is there this blinking light there? Not a visual glitch. Let's see. Purchase. How about we try and hack this thing? Nope. Let's just purchase things. See, he doesn't even have the kind of armor the kind of bullets I want. I want anti-personnel bullets. Guess I could try armor-piercing bullets on these splicers and see if maybe that kills them in one hit. I'd be surprised if it does. Come on.
Looks like the ocean's gonna need to retake this corner of Rapture. This happened right after the start of the war. Read about it in the papers. Head on in. I'll see what I can dig up to help.
Fight me properly!
Yeah, anti-personnel. I gotta very carefully watch my life.
I'm no engineer, but if I read these plans right, you can channel that magma flow using the redirect valve. It'll boil off that water right quick, and you'll be able to reach the core. But Ryan's sure to take notice. Might want to set up a perimeter just here.
Well, that gun turret's out of play. Well, let's, I suppose, set these up. So we're just sitting here holding A.
Are they all dead? Hope so. Best be heading on to the core.
Was there anything over here we needed to really deal with? I think we auto-hack, and then we make 2 auto-hacks, and then one of these, and this, and I think we're good with that, and now I'm full of heat-seeking missiles. Might as well be shooting the 3 anti-personal bullets I have with the rifle. I'm so low on the right kind of ammunition, and you'd think in the middle of gameplay, just at any point, you would be able to
like it here. You feel something you can't quite put your finger on. Think about it for a second, and maybe the word will come to you. Nostalgia.
It's like should be capable of making all kinds of ammo from the pickups at any point in the game. Just hit pause, go to it.
Will be a knife in the back.
And again, this is just a great example of how if I want to run through the game, I can certainly do that. There's nothing stopping me from not really enjoying my time. So as soon as that changed, the security started attacking me again. see, we are over where? Like, we are far from it. And I don't even think we investigated this area. Did we? Like, we came from here and somebody's making sound. We had to have come from that section. Let's see. Back down this way. The alarm has long since gone off. And so I think we're back to where we were in roughly 20 minutes. Of course, again, the danger is I'm going through this area and it's going to either save or it's going to crash again.
All that matters to me, and all that matters to you, is you.
Let's see the subtitles. Come on, subtitles, why aren't you on? So if it crashes here, that'll be the end of the episode, and I'll play through this point. And then if it crashes just non-stop there, I guess I would have to rage quit the whole game, and that would be very, very unfortunate. But we can see it saving, so. There's a director's commentary, but no little sisters in this section. And we're gonna, in the next recording, take care of Andrew Ryan. Sadly, the crashes do happen enough to be definitely a buzzkill. I don't know how you really say it. It's like, one crash is too many in any video game. 4 crashes, I believe we're up to, is about a crash every 5 hours. Unacceptable, totally. The game is definitely playable. It's not crashing for me, at least all the time. It clearly seems to be that there's a bug about it trying to write to the hard drive, well, in my case, an SSD, and it's just failing. And instead of gracefully failing or giving back an error, it is just exiting out the whole program with a hard crash, which is unacceptable too. This could be solved if they just autosaved a lot or more. It would at least make it a lot more prevalent, but the autosaves are very, very few and far between. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.